NASA's 2050 climate scenario predicts that if greenhouse gas emissions continue to expand at the current rate, the world will warm by another 1.5 degrees Celsius by 2050. At the 2021 UN Climate Conference, Bill Gates argued for a green industrial revolution to halt global warming, safeguard at-risk populations, and set the planet toward progress. Today, we'll discuss Bill Gates' Green Revolution project to combat climate change. First of all, if you are like most people, you might wonder what Gates' climate change revolution will look like. It's simple: renewable energy and carbon capture. Renewable sources such as wind or solar power can help reduce pollution, but they also require more maintenance than traditional fossil fuels. That's why some companies are developing technologies using natural resources and renewable energies like water and sunlight to create electricity without using fossil fuels. This is where carbon capture comes in, but we'll detail that later in the video, so make sure you don't miss out. Another critical component of the Bill Gates climate change mitigation has been ensuring everyone has access to affordable housing for those who don't have much money left after paying monthly bills. So far, there aren't many options available, but hopefully we'll be seeing more coming soon. Breakthrough energy venture. Also, as part of the Bill Gates Climate Project, climate solutions can make a difference, and the world needs them sooner rather than later. Thankfully, Bill Gates has made an effort to invest in these solutions through his foundation, which has launched a series of projects to put them into practice. We can discuss Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy Venture, BEV, which has invested in over 80 businesses in 11 countries across 4 continents and has raised over $2 billion. At the United Nations Climate Change Conference in 2021, Bill Gates announced Catalyst creation by Breakthrough Energy. We'll go into detail later on and explain what Catalyst is and what it aims to achieve, so stay tuned. Bill Gates announced a further financial commitment from the Gates Foundation to AIM4C at the same conference. He stated, "As part of our work with AIM4C, I am announcing today that the foundation will provide an additional $315 million over the next 3 years to an amazing organization called CGIAR. CGIAR supports climate-smart agricultural research to help smallholder farmers in the developing world." Climate change is more severe than most people realize, and we must appreciate the world's benefactors for trying to resolve it. If you agree, please leave a thumbs up on this video.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Renewable energy technologies. Renewable energy technology is a strong supporter of the Bill Gates climate change green revolution. When we talk about renewable energy technology, we're referring to the methods by which we can harness the sun's and wind's kinetic energy to create usable heat and power. But the usage of non-renewable raw materials in producing such technologies would be minimized whenever possible. Compared to fossil fuels, renewable energy sources offer better returns. Innovations in solar panels and wind turbines have led to a steady decline in the price of renewable energy over the past decade. Modern technology has made it possible to generate electricity at a cheaper cost and with fewer inputs than in the past, when the only viable options were coal-fired power plants and nuclear reactors. In 2011, Breakthrough Energy, founded by Bill Gates, pledged to use private finance and philanthropic assets to match EU financing. The partnership aims to contribute up to 820 million euros, about $1 billion between 2022 and 2026 to invest in renewable hydrogen, sustainable aviation fuels, carbon capture and sequestration technology, and long-term energy storage. Carbon capture technology. Now, carbon capture and storage, CCS, is a technology that captures carbon dioxide before it can enter the atmosphere. CCS has been used in some industrial processes, such as cement manufacturing, but not much compared to other technologies like renewable energy or nuclear power. This is because CCS has been too expensive for many of these applications until now, and the cost of building out new infrastructure to support CCS is still high. Still, recent research shows that this could change if it's used alongside other methods like renewable energy generation or geothermal heating systems instead of just relying on fossil fuels alone, which cause CO2 emissions.
Impressive.
Regarding solutions to mitigate climate change, we are only halfway there. Still, we'll continue to monitor and bring you updates on how the world progresses with that. So, subscribe to this channel and get an alert whenever we drop a video. The Catalyst. Moving on, direct air capture, DAC, green hydrogen, long-duration energy storage, LDS, and sustainable aviation fuel are the 4 technologies that the Catalyst initiative is focusing on as a Bill Gates climate change mitigation method. Catalyst is a first-of-its-kind attempt to construct the large projects requiring to produce the green premiums and broaden the market for essential climate technology, Gates stated. The catalyst will aim to 1. Tap into specialized knowledge to scale the necessary innovations. 2. Bring together government aid and private sector know-how. 3. Plan for low-return equity investments and charitable endowments to cover the project's final expenses. 4. Make assets more certain by ensuring projects will have green cement production. Furthermore, green cement production is also an option to be considered in Bill Gates' climate change green revolution. Since over 40% of worldwide CO2 emissions originate from the construction industry, manufacturing green cement in the future could be crucial in minimizing climate change. Concrete, which includes cement, sand, and water, is a popular construction material. The main issue with this method is the massive volumes of fossil fuels needed to manufacture the requisite components, which contribute to climate change. However, there are several options for decreasing our usage of fossil fuels without compromising the quality of the concrete we produce.
Oh, hooray for you, buddy boy.
Aggregates can be made from broken rocks or soil. Therefore, it makes sense to reuse these materials whenever possible. They are more cost-effective than alternative aggregates, last longer, and don't necessitate extra energy to process or transport because they are already manufactured. In addition, reducing the quantity of heat used in mixing activities by working with fewer smaller batches at once can save money on labor and lessen the likelihood of waste buildup due to the high concentrations present in these procedures. Consequences for global warming, rising sea levels, food security, and public health could be devastating if attempts to reduce emissions of carbon dioxide or other short-lived climate pollutants are delayed. Hence, we must move swiftly and take action right away. We can only hope that more ambitious projects like Bill Gates to revolutionize the industrial sector will be undertaken in the future to help slow climate change, especially in places like Africa where climate change is severe. In fact, Bill Gates has recently released a book on climate change, and we'll bring you a review on our next feature, Bill Gates' biggest takeaway from Gates, new book on climate change. This can actually help, so make sure to watch that. Thanks for watching today.